We all know it's impossible to have a review removed. How did Google respond to your requests? Do you have them removed? And what's your secret?
Good question, Josie. This is a problem that the Google reviews are a problem that plagues so many businesses. Google is usually very slow to react and very rarely will actually take down a review unless it's something very explicit. They won't take it down. They're slow and they rarely do anything. So it then becomes a legal problem. So what we usually do is we send what's called a concerns notice at first instance, which basically sets out to the person who's put the review up, you know, you've done the wrong thing. It's defamatory. You need to take it down. You need to give an undertaking that you won't do it again. You need to pay damages and our costs. Now, most of the time, they won't do most of those things, but they will often take it down. If they don't take it down, that's when it becomes a bit more problematic. That's when you need to go to court and sue them for defamation and get them to take it down. We have had issues where there has been, you know, reviews put up under a pseudonym, a fake name. And in those cases, that's where we have to go to Google themselves. Of course, Google won't release those details. So we need to go to the court, get an order against Google in the US to release the details of the person who put up the review under the pseudonym or fake name or anonymous name and give us those details. And we have been successful in doing that a number of times. You need to serve Google in the US and they'll give you the details. And, you know, one of the cases which is currently underway is where it was actually a competitor put up a review under a pseudonym, pretending to be a customer, and they're actually a competitor. So, you know, you think it doesn't happen, but unfortunately it happens all the time.
Incredible. Okay, so what part of your area of dispute do you find the most interesting?
Look, every case is a little bit different. So there's such a variety. I mean, there's common elements between them. So we do a lot of work with, you know, suppliers or customers who aren't paying or arguing the terms of contract. We do a lot of shareholder disputes between directors, business disputes, debt collection. So it really depends. I enjoy it when it goes to court. I always enjoy being in court. But having said that, our aim is always to keep it out of court, and our aim is always to try and see if the matter can be resolved before the legal fees, you know, bump up too much.
Absolutely. Okay. Can you discuss a specific initiative or a project that you've been part of that you'd like to share with us?
Look, it's generally, I do a lot of work on the internal training here at Madgwicks, which I really enjoy. But it also helps because you'll find that there are common elements in many of the cases. So, you know, when you do the training, you actually brush up on the latest case laws. And it's amazing how often you're reading through it and you're like, oh, that's relevant to my current case. That will help us. Usually the principles are there, but if you've got a really recent case that will help, I find it's very useful. And it's useful if you can present it to the other side because it helps settlement. Or if you're heading to court, it's also very useful when you've got an authority that's got very similar situation to what you're dealing with that you can give to a judge. It's just very helpful. So however much I love training to the staff here, and I'm very passionate about that, but it also helps me in my work as well.
Perfect. And I'm sure you'd make a great trainer. All right, so we'll go on to the last question.
Yeah, sure.
And that last question is, do you have a hobby that you'd like to share with us?
Well, I have recently taken up tennis, but that's not the hobby I want to share with you because that's, you know, a lot of people do tennis. I have also taken up kayaking on the bay. We take the kids, the dogs, my husband, and we have some paddle boards and a kayak. And so I've taken up kayaking. It's always interesting when you've got two dogs and a child sitting in there with you and trying not to capsize. It's a lot of fun, but we do our best. But yes, that's a recent hobby. So
Oh, that sounds amazing. And I have capsized before kayaking, so I know what you mean.
it's always
Well,
cold.
yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm sure I'll speak to you soon, Catherine.
Thank you very much, Josie.
Thanks.